I would want to talk a bit more on mindset, or on because I see you speaking to people as well. I've got a bunch of people here as well, and all are kind of the young age to mid thirties and stuff. What would you say the mindset to being the idea of starting late, right? Idea of starting late, or whether it's starting early, but I think I would like to start off with starting late. What about starting late? What's that mindset of thinking like I'm left behind, I can't do it now, I'm too, it's too late for me. I'll stick to where I am right now. Investing is not for me. I started late, so I'm not going to make that much gains and stuff. What do you think about that mentality? Is that right? Is that wrong? What do you think about that mentality?
So that's a great question. I come across this with a lot of people a lot of times too, right? They always telling me like, "Well, I started too late. It's over for me," and I'm like, "It's never too late. Do you still like having fun?" They're like, "Yeah." What if I said it was too late for you to have fun? He's like, "I don't believe that." Right? I'm like, "Yeah." So what I do is I attack, everything they say. I call it BS. Right? Some people say is is the profanity word, but I say it's belief system. He's like,
Oh,
if I'm gonna work with you, we got to identify you have a negative belief system, right? And so I tell people, hey, you have the potential, right, to really accomplish all your goals and dreams where you're at right now. You're not late, you're just right on time. So if I can identify their potential, then I help them take action, right? It could be simple step. It may say you about to invest your first $500, and then you're gonna look at it at a brokerage account the next month, and you're gonna say where you made your money at, right? So I took you from potential to action, and
right.
then now you've seen what the results. So once people take
Yeah,
action, they see some type of results. Their what belief system or their
it's
belief
changes. Yeah,
therefore increases. So
right.
therefore their potential does what? Increases again, and we forced to take more action, right? To have more
Right.
results to continue raising their belief level. And so once I get them in that cycle, and then we continue to elevate. But I have to validate them, right, on their current belief system that is just piss poor
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
for
I think
sure.
that's a good way to put it because it's all about the belief system of where you are at, and if you exactly, I think taking the next step is taking action and then seeing where it could go, where you are now and where you could go, and
Mhm.
the gap between that is the action. And I think once you put them on that track, they see the results, and now they're on that spiral. Now it's all about just increasing, just step by step, going up step by step. I like that. I
Exactly,
like that.
exactly,
I
exactly.
like that because I see that as well. Sometimes I feel that as well. Even though I probably would say started early and stuff, but I still feel like okay, there are more people doing better than me. It's still my mindset as well. Just more people doing better than me. Could I have done that more? Could I have done this more? But honestly, when I speak to them, like yourself as well, I speak to them, I realize, and this is something that I believe, and I like to tell other people, and this is something that you just said. You just take the action. Don't worry about where they are. Say, take that action. Stop worrying about whoever you're seeing where they are is. If you want to be like that, just take the next step. Just take the next step. Walk along. You will somehow catch up with them. It's not about catching up. You just walk along the same path. If you just stay there, stop. Just stand fit and just look at where they are. You're not going to go anywhere. You're not moving. So take the next step, and you would see yourself in that position as well. So
Yeah,
I think it's just about taking the next step and going up one by one. Yeah, perfect.
for sure.
Perfect. I think the next thing also will come to the contrary where the mindset is it's too young. I'm too young. I have time, and I don't want to invest. Or I would say I'm scared to invest, right? So the same, it almost same mindset, but some people are like, I don't want to invest because I'm too late. Some are too young. What would you give pointers to people who are younger and want to start invest? They might not have capital, they might not have mentorship, they might not have people, or especially their environment around them doesn't favor them to do things that are out of the norm. Go to school, get a job, go to work, make the money, get a house, get a car, live your life. That's the average standard life that everyone is taught of and is told by.
For
What do you
sure.
say to someone that wants to break this, and I want to invest? I don't. Some people even have the thoughts of not going to school because they say that education or the standard, the traditional education doesn't favor them of what they want to do. But of course the environment pushed them to do the traditional education. What would you tell them, or what would you kind of advise, if or have you come across someone that is on that thing? I want to change, I don't want to do this, but my environment is pushing me to do this traditional way. What would you say to someone that's that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that question. There's many parts, and I want to address all of them too, right? I've come across all that. all of it, and I continue to come across it. Where it's actually exciting to me because it lets me know that hey, even for me, right, there's more opportunity, right? I love opportunity because I'm a businessman too, right? But what I would also say to them as well, and here's a strategy I use with people. I say, hey, close your eyes right now, right? I'll say, close your eyes. Now, envision your ideal life 5 years from now, and I had them to envision it, without any constraints. So don't think about your current situation. If you could have any type of life you desire in the next 5 years, what would it actually look like? All right. Don't think about your environment. Don't think about where you've been or your failures. What does that ideal life look like? Then I asked them, what will you be doing? What would your lifestyle look like? All right. Why would you want that type of lifestyle? Because what happens is that we try to focus on the end result too much, right? Without dreaming first. You see, we need a vision that we can work towards. And that's what a lot of people lack when they're in piss poor environments. They lack vision because the people around them have diminished their vision. So I need them to dream. I need them to develop that vision versus just focus on that end result, which is like, oh, I started too late. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I want to do stuff in my environment. Like, look again, we're gonna get rid of that belief system. We're gonna say, let's start dreaming again, right? And so once we start to do that, then there's a space now. I've created space in doing that to now ask questions that are receptive to. You see, you always got to make sure when you're dealing with individuals, you have the opportunity, the space is open to ask those questions to create a new reality. Sometimes as educators and passionate people like me and you, right? I will always run into issues because I'm like, why don't they get it? It's right
Exactly,
here.
exactly, yeah,
At your
exactly, yeah,
fingertips. They don't get it. I had to take a step back and it's like, you know what, Curtis? It's not about you. It's actually
about them,
about them. So I
yeah,
learned how to be successful by saying, I need to place this back on you because see,
yeah,
you have questions. I have the answers and the solutions. However, I got to get them to ask the question to open up their mind. Right. And so once we start to dream and have that vision, then I can now say, all right, to be on that path, here's what you can do. And if I don't
right,
have the knowledge, that's why I have a team, right? Because everyone has different backgrounds, or I have connections and relationships who can help them on that journey. So that's why I can
right,
still add value, but not overstep avenues I can't provide
yeah,
value,
exactly, yeah,
right? Because everybody's specialization, like I can't tell you how to grow trees effectively and grow fruit. I don't know. I'm not gonna even try to do it. And I'm not even going to waste my time trying to sit up there if I'm not trying to be an expert in it and get online and try to research on it.
yeah,
Because
exactly,
what happens, another thing, while I'm getting them to vision that, I want to provide them with a clear path where they can then what? Take some action, right? And have
actually,
some
yeah,
direction to continue. But what I don't want them to do is go down a path that I sent them on unknowingly and they get inundated with so much information, they're not as stagnant.
yeah,
Because a key element by sending people on a path, right, that's not clear is that they start to do what's called their own research.
oh,
But
yeah,
guess what?
information overload, yeah,
Information overload, but who qualified them to do research? You
exactly,
see, research is relative to the
right,
individual, right? You may think about it. We're techies, right? They may type in a question on, say, Google, stay on the
yeah,
first page, the first two links, and whatever it says, that's
boom,
reality.
yeah, that's reality, yeah,
But it's not though, right? But again,
yeah,
they come back and tell you, like, well, I did some research. And I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. You did some research, right? So we got to understand we're going into the space. We need to hold their hand. We need to be able
right,
to do as much as we can. Like, hey, I'm not just going to tell you information. I'm also going to show you the results of it.
yeah,
And so out there, I
mm-hmm.
think we cut through a lot of noise. We can get to them with their real question of, is it possible? Because that's what they're really asking. Is it possible for me?
Is it
I'm too
possible? Yeah,
young. All they're asking is this really possible for me this young? Right?
mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a bad environment. I can't do anything. They're saying, in my bad environment, is it possible for me to do
Possible,
this?
yeah, exactly,
So
yeah.
that's what we have to answer that question for them.
Yeah, I think that's very true because they all have the limiting beliefs of whether whatever situation they are in, am I able with my position, my situation right now, am I able to achieve that? Whatever you're showing, whatever you're saying, am I able to achieve that? No matter what my position is. So I think what you say is right. Giving them the result or the position or the mindset to say that yes, you are able to achieve that. No matter where you come from, you're able to achieve that, and showing them that steps and the tools to get them on that path. Yeah, I think that's very true.
Yeah,
I
because you
mean,
don't want them comparing, right? There's a
yeah,
comparison syndrome. And so when I
yeah.
get them to envision and really think about the next 5 years of what they want, they block out all the noise what other people want, right?
Yeah.
Because what happens is that you kind of get discouraged because you can only see things with your eyes, right? But when you close your eyes, you're seeing things with your mind, you're envisioning. And so when they
Mm,
see things with their eyes, they start to compare. They're like, well, I'm not doing what they're doing. They got more, they get doing better. I'm like, actually, they're on a whole different path than you are.
yeah,
So don't compare, right? They
I
may
think
have
I
a
think
tool that you like, which is a car. Let's say a tool is a car.
yeah,
However, their foundation of how they got that tool is not going to support them long.
yeah,
So why are you
exactly.
comparing over there, right? So
That's amazing. I think that's a good one. That's a good one where if you see with your eyes, you're going to compare. When you see with your mind, it's what your mind thinks, what your mind wants. Yeah, I think
correct.
a lot of people are stuck on comparing their other people's achievements to theirs and other people's goals and their pathways to what their needs are. And sometimes they blindly look at other people's life and want the same thing. But honestly, if they truly think, they will not want the exact things that some people other people have. So yeah, I think with social media
Exactly.
right now, that's a very hard component to stop, or it's killing that. But with social media, it's really fueling that sort of comparison. That vanity metrics is taking over and stuff. Social media.
Exactly. I love it and hate it. That's why I gift and the curse with technology. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
You've got to take the good and put out the bad, but it's a hate love and hate relationship that goes
Yeah,
back and
oh yeah,
forth.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Because I see I'm in a space of like I said, personal finance and wealth management. And I try to tell individuals like you can make money, but it's more or less about how much you can keep and how
Right.
you can be sustainable with this money, right? Because you can have, imagine coming into a bunch of money at 20. Well,
Right.
guess what? You got a whole nother 2, 3 lifetimes to live. Will that money last?
That's true.
Right? How can you make it last? You may have a great career, and that's what most people do, right? They have a great career in maybe a corporate space, but their lifestyle takes up majority of their money.
Right.
And so
Exactly.
then therefore they have nothing they can pretty much live off of later on to enjoy that same lifestyle. So then
Yeah.
they go into
Yeah.
depression because
Exactly.
now they're
Because
like they were the man or woman for so long, and
yeah.
now you didn't control your income or
Right.
have no way to control your income or didn't leverage your income when you had it.
Right.
So now later on, you gotta reduce your lifestyle, and so we got
Right. 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 I think that's a good point because you would have quite an
mm,
experience with celebrities, with musicians and artists, where they come into money with quite an early age. They come into a lot of money. They get a lot of money. What I think that's where that idea comes from. When someone has a lot of money at a young age, and how are they gonna maintain it and leverage that over years to come? How would you kind of say, because artists are known to come into a lot of money at a very young age, but many people also fall into how to say, they are given, I mean, they have parents money, they come from second generation wealth and stuff like that. How would you advise someone that comes into money at a young age to still not live frugally or anything, but how would they manage their capital that they are able to have? Because they play on a whole different field, because some people come from rock bottom at wherever their fields are, but some people when they come into money at a young age, they are able to do more. For me, I honestly, I see that. I understand that as well. I see among my environment where people do come into money at a younger age because of their parents or whatever their surroundings are. But how could they set themselves apart at a younger age to leverage their capital a bit more? What would you suggest to an artist as well? You would kind of give them a different pathway because they come into about a lump sum capital at a younger age. How would you advise to leverage the
yeah.
capital
First
or
of
do
all, I
something
was
more?
telling them, hey, we're gonna identify needs and wants, right? And really educate them on what that looks like.
Right,
It's like, hey, you know what? You want to enjoy a certain lifestyle. What does that look like? Because that lifestyle is always going to change as you experience more. So, do you want to be in a position to experience more, right? The way you want to do it, right? And if so, if you say yes, then let's identify what you need right now, right? Because what's happening is that I want you to be in control of your income. You came into a lot of money right now. Are you in control? Do you have control right now? And what people realize is that I don't have control. So say you're an artist or entertainer, right? You have a hit song. Well, guess what? You're not in
Mhm.
control of your money, of your paycheck. Why? Hey, I call you up. I want to book you
Right.
for a show. Okay, great. It's 100 grand. Okay, come on. The person who's paying you is in control of your paycheck, and you have to continuously what? Get up, get on the flight, and go
Right.
perform. You have to continuously do a job, right? So you have a
Right. Yeah.
glorified job right now. You don't have control, and people want
Yeah.
freedom. So now they're saying, "Hey, what do you need right now
Yeah.
to take care of your needs to then provide for all of your wants forever?" So once we understand that, the first thing I
Right.
do is put them
Right.
and get a budget together that takes care of their needs. All right, and
Mm.
within that budget, we
Right.
identify some money every month or every quarter that we allocate towards wants. And so once you're like, I want to take a trip with just me and my
Mhm.
friends to the Bahamas. I don't pay for everything. Okay, great. How many times you want to do that in a year? That's going to our want bucket. But our needs are taken care of from this
Right.
income, right? That we can't control for this little bit of time.
Mhm.
Now, also within that budget goes into what's called
Right.
our freedom
Right.
bucket, right? We're allocating money to our freedom bucket. Now, that's what probably be different investments or different things that structured, according to their
Right.
terms or whatnot, or risk factors. Um, but the goal is to do
Risk
what?
factors. Yeah.
Is to replace the income to an avenue that you can control.
Yeah.
So it's therefore saying, so let me give you an example for people
Yeah.
listening in. So say for instance, right now they're bringing in, let's say $10,000 a month. All right. We're getting $10,000 a month right now, but they're
Mhm.
not in control of this $10,000. So now we want to be able to be in control of $10,000. So we need to put money to work to where it generates us at least what? $10,000 a month. So correct.
Right.
Replace
It
that
replaces
income.
the
So
income. Yeah.
therefore, if that income were to
Yeah.
go away, guess what? You're in control. You got your own income. So now what we do is we set up
Right.
on a budget scale and say, hey, what are your needs? What takes care of all the needs? Those are like necessities, right? Your lodging, your food,
Yeah.
right? Things of that nature. Okay, we got that. And then we have wants within there too. So, hey, what are some wants? What do you like doing the most that just frivolous that you only live one time, right? Let's figure out that. But we want to be able to do right
Right.
what you want for a longer period of time. So you may like taking trips with your friends that
Yeah.
you pay for everything. Well, that's why I asked, how often you want to do this? Because I want to do it for the entire year, not just one time a year, right? All right,
Mhm.
perfect. So we just decide and look at what
Right.
that
Right.
amount should be.
Right.
And so we can still do that so they can have fun, right? Because I need people with their budgeting and their allocations to be happy with it. Because if you're not happy with it, it's kind of like a diet. You start it, stop it.
Yeah.
So
Started, then you stop it. Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna hate that diet. You're gonna, it's like, when can I
exactly,
end it?
exactly.
When is it
So,
gonna end?
I'm
Yeah.
dealing with adults here, so I
Yeah.
understand that. So we got the needs, we got the wants taken care of. Within
Yeah.
there, the remainder money, now we're saying this is my freedom money. So I'm paying myself with freedom money, but put it to work.
Right.
And so now it's going to work in this bucket. And the
Right.
parameters we design with this investment money is designed what? To bring in income.
Right.
And as you know, sometimes people invest with no goal except for just growth. I want to see it grow. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
well, what are you going to use this for? They're like, oh, well, I'm gonna live off it in
Yeah.
retirement. I like, well, we need to change the goals of this then because right now this is only built for growth and
Right.
not income. And so that's why
Yeah.
I go through that
Income.
process
Yeah.
with them
Yeah.
and start putting that money to work. So in totality, I would tell them, like, hey, this is what we're going to identify. And then we're going to bring in different service partners or trustworthy individuals that we're going to be auditing too at the same time, constantly, consistently, right? To make sure they're doing their
Yeah.
job, right? Because this is
Yeah.
your
Exactly.
business
Yeah.
of your life. That's what I tell you. This is the business of your life. We have the opportunity to control that. And you have the opportunity to
Right.
be in control. So let's control it.
In control of that. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's cool. That's a good way to put it. I think, with your experience of, meeting people and understanding their, I think what you kind of come up with a lifestyle that you set for them, a financial lifestyle that they follow. So it's not like a diet where they wait for it to end. When is the diet going to end? But you build a lifestyle and
Exactly.
they maintain that lifestyle. I
Yep.
think I
Yep.
think
Exactly. That's what I
that's
call it. Lifestyle planning. Let's plan for your lifestyle.